Well, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And we're doing video 2 here of beginner's guide to arrange your keyboard and settings. And we're using the Ketron Midjay Pro in this particular demo. And we already have video 1 done, which I will leave at the end of this video if you haven't watched it. So today we're doing the arrange your settings. So as we can see here, we're on our main page here where we select the styles. So in order to get to the arrange your settings page, we can just click here. We're going to use 8-bit. And then this brings you here then to this screen. Now this screen here is the arrange your settings screen. So this page is dedicated to arrange your settings. And any modifications in this mode may be saved to a user style. So we can save in here then to a user style, or we can also make a registration, which includes various settings, which include the modify style as well as any other settings made on the instrument and which may be retrieved by pressing the relevant key on the panel. By pressing save, so how do we get to this? By pressing save on the right hand side, which is this button here, save. And no matter what arranger you're on, there will be a save function that will bring you to them settings. So if we press the save, and then you can see here, then it gives us up our options. So the user style is a copy of the original style with the settings modified by the user. So this will be the user style. So we will select that, and then we will save whatever we've done as user style. And it may be saved with the name of the original style, but when I'm saving my user style, I normally give them a different name, and they will go in then into the user section for call up later on. Now, even if you use the same name of the style, whatever you're editing, the file name will still be saved to the user style section, so that the original file supplied by Ketron is not deleted. So now that is very important, that if we edit a style and make changes to a style, even if we don't change the name of that style and we save it as a user style, the original file style that we have made the user style from will remain intact and it will not be affected, so that we can go back at any time again and call up the original Ketron style will always stay there. So that's a very important thing to know. Okay, now let's just cancel out of that for now. So that's how we save the thing. Now, so here we've got 4 tones assigned to the upper lead section, and they're displayed at the top of the screen. So that's these 4 tones. So I've got grand piano in this particular style. We've got a mark organ. We've got piano and strings. And we've got a pop organ. So these are the 4 tones that are assigned to the lead section above the split point on my keyboard. Okay. Now by default, when you load a style, the sound on the keyboard is the first of these 4. So normally when you load a style, your style will land on A, and the first one here will be selected. So you can see there it's gone yellow, which means it's selected. But it's possible to change this by selecting the other 3 icons, like I did there a minute ago, on the top row. Each style had already been saved by Ketron with the 4 sounds for quick loading into the lead section. But you may save the style with 4 different sounds with respect to those saved by Ketron. So to do this, select Edit on the display and select Function both for voice set. So here we are on the Edit. Okay, so we select Edit for voice set, and then you get this page, which is dedicated to picking the 4 voices. Okay, so now let's just go back here again for a minute. We've also got these 3 voices here. So let's just play our style. These 3 voices are correspond to chords 3, 4 and 5 in our style, okay? So if we're playing our style, so now you can see I can turn the U girdles on and off, these variations of finger pick, okay? So they're in the style, as part of the style, but you can edit them there. So if we, for instance, didn't want the U girdles there, we could use it. And then we could save the style, add the U to the style, and then when we load the style again, the U's girdles wouldn't be there. And they're part of the style, okay? Now, the balance, which we've talked about the balance before, regulates the volume of the accompaniment section, which may be set with the dial from a minimum of 16 to 63. So normally, in order to get my styles balanced and to play the same, I normally set all my styles that I'm going to use up at 63. So this is the balance button, you press that, and then you just turn your little knob here. And that's the maximum, okay? So that's what I do. Now you may want to set your styles at a different volume, that's totally up to you, but that's what I do with my styles, okay? Now, so beside its balance here, we've got this, which is with the second 2 in D. If we press that, it enables a second tone with the right hand. So, if I knock that off, and here now I've got piano. So if I want to add string to that piano, I just press it there and add strings, okay? And there can be different tones in here in the second voice depending on the style and what you're doing, okay? Right, so that's them two functions, the balance and the second voice. Now, we'll just turn that one off a minute. Now, next here we're going to talk about this here, which is octaves. So here we got the octave, and when we press it here we can go up and down, which will take us up and down here in octaves. You can see now I'm going up an octave, I'm going up an octave, down an octave, down to normal, down to a lower octave, down to a different octave, okay? So that just sets the octaves there if you want to set the octaves of your right hand. So if you want the octave of a certain instrument, might be too low, or maybe you might be too high where it might be piercing, depending on the instrument that you've picked for your right hand. And that's the way there of setting an octave. And when you save your style in, that will be saved as a user style when you load that style again. Okay? Now, the next thing is the harmony 2 hands, which is this one here. So that enables the harmony to function on the right section. Harmony 2 hands. So you can hear now the harmony. Knock it off. I've got single now, right? Okay, that's how that works. Now, this is one here called voice to ABC, which is this one here. So to demonstrate that, I just say we're starting on A, arrangement A, and say we're on our piano in A, B, C, or D. Now look, we still have our piano still selected. Right, so A, B, C, D. Now, so just say we want these instruments here to follow A, B, C, and D. If we just switch on that one, now watch what happens. You see the way it's gone, and it's followed the lead instruments along. Alright, so we'll come back here again on A, got the grand piano. Now, okay, so the pianist, which is this button here, pianist, so that's off and that's on. The pianist extends the sound of the right hand to the full keyboard. In other words, the split for the arranger, which I have said here, is disabled. And if the arranger had been enabled, the chords are recognized over the full keyboard. So if you're a piano player and you want to use the arranger and you don't want to be using the split point, and you play a regular piano anywhere on the keyboard, you can disable the split point and the chord will follow you no matter where you're playing. So I'll just show you here but now you can hear my style. So let's just, my piano is up here, and as I change down here I just get changing the style. If I go into pianist, now you can see I've got my piano down here. Okay, now in order to get that to work right, you have to press down 3 notes. And if you're playing a piece and you just want the arranger to follow you, you can do that by using the pianist mode. Now, we've also got a bassist mode, which is this mode, and this allows you to play free basses or chords played with the right hand up here. For example, if you want to do a bass solo, it would allow you to do a bass solo up here. So that could be useful if you're playing Brown Eyed Girl and you want to do the bass solo up here in your right hand. The manual bass, that's the manual bass for the left hand. So I can demonstrate this one. If we're, that's our style, so we go, that just stopped, and then we got manual bass down here. Okay, so that gives you that effect. And then we've got here bass to lowest. So just assign the lowest note of the chord of the bass over and above the basic. In this way, the bass will play an inversion. So that has to do with playing either the root note of the chord or not playing the root note of the chord. So we play an inversion of the chord. So in other words, if I play the chord of C and I play C inversion 2 or inversion 1, depending on how you count it, and if I play a regular C, that's my root there. If I play a normal C, an inversion C, sorry, my root will be there. So that changes that down here to put the root of the chord below or above, or at the root of the C, which is C there, or that's C there actually, C. Okay, below the 2 blacks is your C, okay? Right? Now, we've also got then edit, which brings us in here in where we can set up all these things that I'm after mentioning. The first one there you got drum, which brings us in here into the drum. We've got drum mixer, which brings us in here to mix the drums. We've got bass, which brings us into the bass, so it opens the bass and it regulates the bass track. We've also got the 4 voice set, so this is where we can set the 4 voices that we want to come up with our style. We've got the chord. This opens the page where we can adjust the harmonic tracks of the automatic accompaniment. So in other words, if we've got chord playing in our we can re-trigger, or we can set them as normal or re-trigger. Alright. And we can set parallel, or we can leave them closed, and we can go to variation to input to arranger rootless. Okay, that will set them in there. I've gone into more details in that. Then we've got piano and bassist. So this is where we can set the piano and bassist that I mentioned on the setting on the other page. And it provides access to the page on which you may set the control mode of the arranger via the keyboard. So you can set it here. Now I'll go into more detail on that. And then we've got lower. That's lower. So this is the lower here. Open the page with just the lower track. Namely the section of the keyboard on the left of the split point. So if I'm down here and I'm playing my style, and there's an instrument there playing with my style, I can do different things with it. I can stop it or mute it or hold it or whatever. I can play lower plus play bass or voice lock. That's where you set them in there, okay? Let's just back out of there. Also, if you do like this video, please give me a like down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. It'd be much appreciated.